Sup dudes, it's Imada, and I decided to give drugs a shot. No reason, just felt like it. And wow, these colors are insane. It's almost like I've seen a retro-style Atari-esque WiiWare game. Oh, damn it, I'm just playing Bit.Trip Runner. I forgot to take the damn drugs. Indie games are a staple of gaming culture today. I mean, just look at the best games out right now. Games like Silksong, Deltarune, and Rhythm Doctor, all of these are indie games, which are some of the best games to come out in recent memory. It's clear that indie games are where the heart and soul of this industry lies. However, it wasn't always like that. Yes, because we only used to have kick the can as our only form of entertainment. But a little after that, give or take 100 or so years, we had the 2000s, where AAA gaming reigned supreme for the most part. But brewing in the corners of WiiWare came one of the defining indie series that pushed indie gaming to what we see as today.
Thank you.
Trust me, it was a trendsetter. But the second most famous was the Bit.Trip series of games, a series of classic style retro games for the Wii system that often looked like an Atari game on an acid trip, with each of these games taking on new and unique gameplay styles, and it became simply iconic to the greater gaming world. Commander Video even appeared in Smash Bros., the main series character, and there was even a wealth of games long after the main series ended to come out. So today, I want to look at where the series began, by ranking all 6 of the original games. Now it's worth mentioning that we're only ranking the original titles of the series, the first 6. Afterwards we did get Runner 2 and Runner 3, with even a remake of the first Bit.Trip Runner being released. But today, let's just focus on the main series, mainly because I want to be positive and not mixed towards the series. I don't think I can do that with this thing in the room. It just has such a negative aura, I just can't. Number 6, Bit.Trip Void. And the award for the weirdest Bit.Trip game goes to all of them. Look at them. But this is definitely one of the more strange entries, if that means anything. In this game you play as a circle and you absorb black things while avoiding the white. They made racism a gameplay mechanic. It's a very simple gameplay loop, but it can definitely be a more abstract one to wrap your head around. All the other games have inherently simple gameplay, but it's all quick and easy to understand, while this game takes a bit more thought. Especially since the ideal way to play these games is being high as heck. It just does not work. The gameplay, despite how odd it is, remains enjoyable. The best comparison is that it's like a bullet hell game. And with how the black orbs grow in size, the bigger you get, the more points you get, leading to a ton of risk and reward where you decide when you want to stop growing or if you want to keep growing. Because the bigger you are, yes, you get more points, but it's harder to dodge the bullets, especially when you're the size of the average American. It can be really fun, and with enough content, this could be the highlight of the series. You can see where this is going, right? Yeah, only 3 levels, that's not a lot. And sure, the other Bit.Trip games have similar amounts of content, but those games are way harder and take way longer to beat. This game is really easy in comparison. You can run through this game's content in like 15 minutes, which yes, you can go for high scores, but man, this isn't enough. These levels aren't really that replayable if you ask me. It's like if in Mario 1, you only had the first world. Yeah, you could go for high scores and stuff, but eventually you get bored since there's no variety there. This game is also just not very challenging. The game heals you up constantly, so there's not any challenge whatsoever. On top of that, this is the ugliest game in the series. The Bit.Trip series have a very memorable aesthetic, stylized mostly after the old Atari games, but with some modern 3D spunk, and a drug trip. They look really nice. That does not apply to this game. It has very simple visuals. Heck, it wouldn't be so crazy to say this could actually run on Atari 2600. It just feels like this game lacked effort behind it. Other games in the series have crazy background visuals, but here, it's like nothing. It's just a background. Sadly, this is a pretty easy pick for the worst Bit.Trip game. Number 5, Bit.Trip Core. Bit.Trip Core feels the most like a rhythm game in the series. You control a central cross and shoot out beams to get rid of the dots. It's a really simple gameplay loop, and the game gets a lot out of it. But the gameplay does get a bit repetitive, though it is still decently fun and super challenging. All traits that make a good Bit.Trip game. It's just a bit similar to the other games in the series, and a little less addictive. The aesthetics, however, are nice looking, but still a little simple visually. I mean, look what you play as. Oh yes, my favorite Bible character. But my biggest issue with the game is this. So that's what a stroke feels like. Yeah, it just feels too overwhelming. There is a bomb feature to get rid of a bunch of bullets, but I don't know, I just don't know what to even do. Other games can get overwhelming, but I always know what I should be doing. Here, oftentimes I'm not really sure where to go next. A good game, but very, very flawed. Number 4, Bit.Trip Beat. So like, you ever play Pawn? Well, now you can play it well on drugs. Truly a great experience, a fun time for the whole family. Yeah, there isn't much to say here. It's Pawn, but a little more fun. The way the balls come into sync with the music can be really satisfying. And Pawn itself is a time-tested gameplay loop that still manages to be fun to this day. Plus there's some new ball types like bouncy ones, lines, and more. But I feel like they can often overcomplicate things a bit. But hey, it's still really fun just to sit back and zone out here. It's a solid time. But man, this game controls weird. Now I didn't play this on the Wii when it originally released. When I had my Wii, I was 6 or 7 and played exclusively Kirby's Epic Yarn and Mario Galaxy. And honestly, I can't complain. I would have hated this stuff, because if I suck at them now, imagine what a travesty it would be for 6-year-old me. So I play this game on Switch too, and this version has a strange workaround. You see, Pawn is a game that works best with a knob. Heck, it's really the only game I can think of that works best with this primitive piece of hardware. So when it comes to porting it to Switch, they needed a workaround. They sure made one, I guess. They used gyro controls for the workaround. Yeah, it works fine for the most part, but it's not reliable in the slightest. It can often be uncomfortable to hold certain positions for a long time for me, making this game way harder than it needs to be, leading to a game with ultimately great ideas, but it's held back greatly by its controls. Number 3, Bit.Trip Flux. Wait a minute, didn't I just talk about this? They just mirrored it! Yeah, this is the only Bit.Trip game that has a direct sequel in gameplay to another, that being Bit.Trip Beat, so there isn't much to talk about here. But I will say the gameplay is improved here in my opinion, with way more complex and satisfying bullet patterns to hit, leading to a slightly more memorable game. I also like the idea of it being mirrored. It sort of reflects the first entry, as if it's just one big game of tennis between these two games. However, it does retain the same issues, with the less than ideal controls. So sadly, there isn't much to elaborate on here. It's better, but not by much. Number 2, Bit.Trip Fate. Now before I make a list, I often look online at other lists on the same topic, not only to get a sense of how many times the topic's been covered, but to also see how my list matches up with others. And going in, I expected my opinions to match with the majority of people, but oddly enough, my second favorite game is often many people's least favorite, and that is the apparently divisive Bit.Trip Fate. This is the most different in the series by a long shot. The gameplay is arguably the most complex it's ever been, taking on a new twin-stick shooter-esque gameplay style. The main gimmick being the fact that you're trapped on a single rail the entire game, leading to you having to be super creative to dodge the game's obstacles. I've never seen a game do this before. It's seriously novel, and most importantly, fun. These levels are also super challenging too. They give me quite the hard time. The main complaint is the lack of music sync. Most game actions in the other games add to the song a bit, but not nearly as much here. Which, yeah, I get it, that's a fair complaint. And I agree, with that aspect, this isn't the best Bit.Trip game. But from a pure gameplay perspective, it's one of my favorites. On top of that, there's power-ups too that enhance your moveset, one of them even being Super Meat Boy. And visually, the game looks super nice. It's not my favorite visually in the series, but it's a close second. I also love how the gimmick of the worse you do, the worse your damage and shots get. In other games, this mechanic is there, but mostly just tones down the environment and music a bit. Here, it's smoothly integrated into the gameplay, leading to a fun and memorable time. Honestly, my only complaint is that it can be a little short. I think if it had a bit more levels, it could have easily been number 1, but it's still a solid time through and through. Number 1, Bit.Trip Runner. Yeah, duh. The most obvious number 1 spot of them all. I mean, what else could it really be? When the Bit.Trip series is brought up, this is the game that often gets brought up. Heck, the main icon of the series, Commander Video, this is the only game where you're directly controlling him. Bit.Trip is a simple auto runner, where all you can do is jump, slide, and kick, often adding to the beat of the song. And the soundtrack is really good. The other games have good soundtracks too, but I feel like it's especially good here. There's also a ton of content here with 3 whole worlds to play through, far more content than the previous games and future ones. You can tell that the devs hit gold here, and they knew it. There are also fun minigames to play if you get all the gold. It's a really solid game. It's no wonder why this, of all the games, spawned a whole sub-series of games. Visually, it's also the best in the series. The backgrounds are just so fun to look at, with so much movement happening in the background. It looks super charming, and it ages really well despite this game being ancient by today's standards. Thus, for all these reasons and more, Bit.Trip Runner is my favorite game in the Bit.Trip series. And that's my list. Do you agree or disagree? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and make sure to like and subscribe. Anyways, it's been real, and next time you consider ruining your life with drugs, just play Bit.Trip Core. It's as good as it gets, trust me.